Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Romero. I'm the third, fourth, and fifth grade instructor at the Street Community Center. I'm so happy and eager to be here today, um, virtually because we can't be in contact right now. We don't know how long this is going to be, but I'm just here to give back to the community with a math lesson today. Every Monday, I'll be doing academic lessons, whether it's math, literacy, science, etc. But today, we're going to be working on math. But before I get started, I just want to say that I really miss you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe. Make sure you guys are washing your hands, and continue to be great students. Don't slack off. If there are days where you just you feel like you don't want to do anything, those are the days where you should try harder. Okay. With these lessons, I just want to make them fun as possible. I know that during this quarantine, sometimes we are bored, or we want to try to find something to do. And I mean, what better way than to advancing your academics, right? So, with that being said, let's go into this lesson. Just gonna make myself a little bit short. This is my first time doing this. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully, you guys can hear me well. I'm gonna put myself right there on the edge so that you guys can see me. I'll put this down. But yes, welcome. Today we are going to go over math lesson. I know many of you are some are advanced with multiplications, and that's okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go through a warm up. We're going to go through division, and then I'm going to give the lesson to you guys. So for the warm up, this is the warm up. It's a mini. I guess a small warm up. But before you get started or anything, please grab paper and pencil. Okay. Go. I preferably if you do it at the table, go get a paper and pencil and go to a table or wherever you have where you can write well, so that you're able to do this. But I want you to pause the video now, and try and work these problems out. Um, you know, I don't want you to skip ahead because I'll be going through this after you guys get a chance to do them. So go ahead and pause it, and then we'll get back into this lesson or into the warm up. So I hopefully you guys have were able to pause it and do the lesson. And so just to kind of review, if you kind of struggled through this, don't worry. It takes practice. I want you to keep practicing at home, on the side. Just keep practicing whatever you're struggling with. If you're struggling with eights or nines or fours or sevens, just keep practicing that. Keep writing them down. Um, so a good tip before I start with the answers is uh, just to do this. Watch. Just grab a piece of paper and start. Say you're having problems with the sevens, right? It'd be like, okay, I'm having trouble with the sevens, so I'm going to start writing them down. So on a piece of paper, you're going to go 7 times 1 equals 7. 7 times 2 equals 14. Sorry, bear with me because I just have my mouse, so I'm doing this with my mouse. So just keep going till you hit 7 all the way through 10. So 7 times 3. So now let's say you got stuck right here, right? You don't know what 7 times 3 is. Just go to this number. Go back to this number, 14. And to get this answer, just add 7 to this number. So what you're going to do to that number is add 7. So 14 plus 7, you're just going to count, and that should be 21. Right? So it's 21. So every time that you don't know, so 7 times 4 equals, if you don't know what that is, you're going to grab this number and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to add 7. Okay? And then 21 plus 7 is 28. So you're just going to keep doing that. Okay? And just keep doing that like 3 times or 4 times and you'll get better at it. But let me erase that. Okay. So now let's go with this. 4 times 9 is 36. And practice saying this out loud so that you guys start remembering it, okay? 8 times 9 is 72. 9 times 10 is 90. 10 times 8 is 80. 5 times 7 is 35. Oh, sorry. 7 times 2 is 14. 4 times 3 is 12. 8 times 6 is 48. Oh, 10 times 5 is 50. 6 times 3 is 18. 4 times 8 is 32. 10 times 10. Sorry. 10 times 10 is 100. My mouse kind of glitches. Bear with me. 6 times 2 is 12. 8 times 6 is 48. 9 times 2 is 18. Oh, that's an ugly 8. Sorry. 5 times 4 is 20. 9 times 3 is 27. 6 times 4 is 24. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12. So there we go. That's a little warm up. Hopefully you guys got all the right answers. And now we're going to move on to our lesson. Again, if you're struggling with this, please practice this at home. Well, I don't need to erase that. Sorry. Let me go back. Practice, keep practicing. You know, as I always tell you guys, keep practicing because that's how you get good at something. And so now what I want to teach you guys or just review is division. Because I know that some of you guys are struggling a lot with this. And I want to be here so that you guys can understand what we're doing. So we're going to be practicing these problems one by one. Okay, so make sure you just grab a different piece of paper or on that same paper if you have room to write it down. Just go ahead and write it down. So let me go to the lesson. So here's the lesson, right? I want to make sure that you guys understand this lesson, okay? If you have any questions, go ahead and comment them in the comments of this video. And then I'll try to get back to you on the next video, or if not, I'll reply back to you on that comment. But today we're going to learn how to divide. So say we have 4 and 24, right? Okay, so I want you to think about this is the answer, right? We're trying to get this answer. And we're going to get 4 times something is going to give us 24. Now to do this, we have to start thinking, right? 4 times something is going to give us 24. We're thinking maybe 4 times 4. Ooh, that's 16, right? 4 times 5, 20, right? So that's not it, right? And we're just going to keep doing that till we get to the number. So 4 times 6 is 24, right? So since we took two numbers, the 6 is going to go above the 4 because we skipped this number. So you're going to put the 6 on top of the 4, and then you're going to put 24 down here. So it's 4 times 6 is 24. And we're going to subtract. And that should give us a remainder of 0, right? Now, we may have a different instance where it might be 4. Oh, sorry. 4 divided by 84, right? So in this case, we're going to look at the first number and think, how many times can 4 go into 8? For example, you're going to say 4 times 1 equals 4, right? 4 times 2 equals 8, right? So you're just going to keep doing that and see what number you get. Because this is higher. Since this number is higher, 8 is higher than the 4. We know that something's going to equal 8, right? Or at least get close to 8. Now, on this one, we didn't just look at 2 and covered up the 4. We didn't do 4. How many times does 2 get into it? Because 4 is bigger than 2. So then that's why we had to take a bigger number. So if this number is smaller than this one, you have to jump to the next one and take all these. Hence why this is why we didn't put anything here. You can put an X, an X, or you can put a 0. So that way you don't get stuck and be like, okay, you know what? Like, I didn't put anything here, right? Because we want the 6 to be on top of the 4 because we took both of these numbers. Now, let's go back to this one. So we figured that 4 times 2 is 8, right? So now for this, what you want to do is put this number 2 on top of the 8, right? So 4 times 2 is 8. Let me erase this. And so we subtract 8 times 8 minus 0 is 0. And you're going to bring down the 4, okay? Now again, 4. Now we're going to move to this spot right here on top of the 4. 4 times something is going to give us 4, which is 4 times 1. So you put the answer here, 4. And you subtract, and it's the remainder is 0, right? So those are your 2 different examples of what you may have and how you work them out. Okay. Now let's go back into the division. Now, I want you to pause this video and I want you just to try them out yourself. If you need help, just go back to the video where I explained how to do it. But get in the habit of thinking like 2 times something is going to give me 2, right? 8 times something is going to give me 8. All right? And then if you get stuck, don't worry. Just keep moving on, and then we'll go through these right now. Okay? Okay, hopefully you had enough time to practice these on your own. So again, remember, there's only one number, right? So 2 times something is going to give us 2, right? So what is it? 2 times 1 is going to give us 2 minus, and it's going to be 0, right? So now let's move on to the next question. 8 times something is going to give us 8, which is 1, and that is 8. Oh, sorry for that 8. Not so good. Okay, 8. Now subtract 0. Bring this 0 down. And what is 8 times something going to give us 0? 0, right? 0. So the answer is 10. Next question. 5 times something is going to give us 5, which is 1, right? 5 times 1 is 5. 0, right? Okay. Next problem. 2 times 1. We can't take the 1, right? Because 2 is bigger. So what do? We move on to this number, right? So now we got to think about 2 times something is going to give us 12. But remember, we don't put anything on top of this 1. So if it helps you, just put like a little X so you don't get confused. So that you know you're not supposed to put a number up there. So we start thinking if you don't know. So now here's a tip. Say you don't know what it is, right? You're just like, oh, sorry, that was just a car passing by. But say you didn't know. Say you got stuck here and you're like, "Oh, I don't know this." I want you to start thinking, okay, what do I know? What number do you know? Two times something? What's the last one you know? Is it two times two? Is four, right? So on your scratch paper, start from there. Two times two equals four, right? So then you keep going. Two times three, and you're gonna take this number, remember? And you're gonna add it by twos because we're working with the twos here. So you're gonna add 4 plus 2, and that is 6. And you're gonna keep going. 2 times 4 equals, remember, grab the 2, and it's 2 times 4 is 8. Now we're gonna continue. 2 times 5 equals, and then we're gonna add 2 to the 8. That's 10. Now 2 times 6 equals, we're gonna add 2 to this, and that is 12. No, look, we just found it. So the answer is 6. So now that's what I want you guys to do. If you ever get stuck, all right, minus and then 0. So if you ever get stuck, start doing that. Just recall the last number that you know and then work from there. Okay, that is going to help you a lot in your problems when you're doing them. Okay. Now, for example, right here, let's see. For example, here, can 7 go into 4? No, right? Because this one's this one's smaller than this one. This one's too big to go into here. So we're going to take 42. Remember, we don't put anything there. And we start thinking again. 7 times what, right? 7 times what? Okay, if you don't know it, what I say to do? Think of the last one that you know. So 7 times 5, I know what 7 times 5 is, right? 7 times 5 equals 35, right? And then you keep going. 7 times 6. And then you're going to add 7, right? And 7 times 6 is 42. Right? So there we go. We found the answer again. It's going to be 6. So 42 minus 4 minus 4 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. There we go. So the answer is 6. Okay, let's erase that. Okay, let me erase this one right here. So here we go again. So 9, how many times is going to 9, right? 9 times something is going to give us 9. This we can do because it's the same thing, right? So 9 times 1, 9 times 1 is 9. Oh, minus 0, bring down the 0. 9 times something should give us 0, and that is 0. There's 10. Now here, 10 and 6, right? We cover up the 0. We can't because the 10 is bigger than the 6, so now we have to take 6, 0. So 10 times something, remember, we don't put anything here, so put the x so you can remember. After a while, after you get the hang of it, you don't have to put this x anymore. You can just not put it anymore. After you get the hang of it and you know where to place the number at or the answer at. So we're gonna do 10 times 6. You know what? Here you're gonna start thinking again. What is it? 10 times what? Right? If you don't know it, just be like, again, write what you do know. 10 times 5, right? Equals 50. If you know that one, then you're gonna add 10 to the next one. 10 times 6 equals 60. So the answer is 6. So you're going to put 6 here. Let's erase that. And then it's going to be 60. Subtract, and it's 0, 0. Right? So now let's go move on to this next one. Okay, so now it's going to be 5 times. Sorry. So now with this one, remember, we don't take the 4 because this one's bigger. It's only when this one's bigger. So start thinking, 5 times what is going to give us 45? If you don't know it, do this again. 5 times, let me write this down somewhere else. Right here on the side. 5 times 5 equals 25. 5 times 6. Remember, if you don't know this, just add 5. Remember, you're adding the number that we're working with. So it's a 5, this number. You're going to add this, right? So since we're working with 5, we're going to do 5. So plus 5. 30. 5 times 7 equals 35. 5 times 8 equals 40. 5 times 9 equals 45. So remember, what we're doing every time is we're taking this number and adding 5 to it, plus 5, which gives us the answer, 35. 35 plus 5 gives us 40. 40 plus 5 gives us 45, right? So that's what you want to do on your scratch paper if you don't know it. So the answer is 9. Remember, the 9 goes on top of the 5. 45. 0, 0. Subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay? Let me erase that. So next one. Remember, we only take one digit when this number is bigger than the outside number. Okay? But if it's smaller, you're going to take 2 digits. And this one, if you know the answer, just say 3 times 9. Boom. Oops, sorry. Remember, 3 times 9. Or let me see. I erased the 0. Sorry. So if you know the answer, you're going to put 9. Remember. To help you remember, you don't put anything there. And you put the answer, 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. So 2 times 2, 0. 7 times minus 0, 7 minus 0. 7 minus 7, 0. Okay? So the next one, 4. Can we take the 2? No, right? 0? Yes, we can. 4 times what? 4 times 5. Put 5 right there. Put the x right there. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay? And then you subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now we're going to go to the next. 4 and the 2? No, we can't do that, right? So then you're going to put an x right there. And you're going to start thinking. And if you know this one, you know that it's going to be 4 times 7. 4 times 7, which is 28. Remember, if you didn't know what it was, start doing from what you know. So 4 times 6. If you know that that's 24, right? Then you know the next number, 4 times 7, is 28. So 2 minus 2 is 0. 8 minus 8 is 0. So the answer is 7. 9 times something is going to give us 9. Hopefully you guys know this one. 9, right? So 9 times 1 is going to give us 9. Minus 0. So 10 divided by 40. Here we don't take the 4, we take the 40. We know that anything multiply anything, remember, just keep in mind, any number that's multiplied with 10, you're just gonna add a 0. So this one's gonna be x right here because we don't take that one. You're gonna put 4. So 10 times 4 is gonna be 40. 4 minus 4 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0. So now the next one, 1 times something is gonna give us 8. What is it? 1 times 8, yes. And then you're gonna put the 8 down here and you're gonna subtract. And that's 8 minus 8 is 0. Next one, 5. We don't take the 2. Mark this off. And you're gonna go 5 times what? It's gonna give us 25. You start thinking, right? You don't know it, just start 5 times 4 is 20. So that means 5 times 5 has to be 25. So 5 here and the 25 goes down here. Subtract 2 minus 2 is 0, 5 minus 5 is 0. And yes, that concludes the lesson. I know it's just a review, it's nothing major that, you know, you should be totally new to this, right? It's just a review just to get back into the things, as we start, it'll get harder and harder. But this is all we're doing for now. Um, Now, for those of you that just need more practice, just keep practicing. Don't worry. Okay. Um, don't worry. You still got it. This is just a stepping. Sorry. What I meant to say is that this is just a review for you guys. And like I said, if you guys are still struggling, don't worry. Keep at it. Keep practicing. Um, if you want me to do anything specific, like that you want me to teach you, put it in the comments, and maybe I'll do a lesson on that. Um, but I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I know it wasn't nothing crazy, but yeah, it's something that I can give back to you guys while you guys are at home. I know most of you guys don't have nothing to do. Most of you guys are bored probably, and hopefully this kind of gave you a little, fun activity to do. But other than that, I will catch you next week on Monday with our next lesson. Stay tuned because it might be a science lesson, so that's gonna be exciting. Um, but yeah, tomorrow we will have, I believe we're gonna have Miss Ashley. So, if I got it wrong, I'll put it in the descriptions of who has the dates. That's gonna go next. But other than that, take care. Keep washing your hands. Be safe, and I will see you guys next week on Monday.